Long ago, in the beautiful kingdom of Hyrule, surrounded by mountains and forests, legends told of an omnipotent and omniscient golden power that resided in a hidden land. Many people aggressively sought to enter the hidden golden land, but no one ever returned. One day, evil power began to flow from the golden land. So the king commanded 7 wise men to seal the gate to the land of the golden power. That seal should have remained for all time. But when these events were obscured by the mists of time and became legend, a mysterious wizard known as Aghanim came to Hyrule to release the seal. He eliminated the good king of Hyrule. Through evil magic, he began to make descendants of the 7 wise men vanish, one after another. And the time of destiny for Princess Zelda is drawing near. Man, that right there is what we call nostalgia bait. Hey guys, it's Jack. Welcome back to the arcade. Today we're going to start a brand new Let's Play. It's just another game, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. We don't need to see this again. Let's get into the game. Now, I know a lot of you, well, everybody, to be honest, did not expect me to be doing this game. It was supposed to be A Link Between Worlds, which is the kind of sequel reboot of this game. But, well, I'll talk about more of that in a minute. Help me. Please help me. I am a prisoner in the dungeon of the castle. My name is Zelda. The wizard Aghanim has done something to the other missing girls. Now only I remain. Aghanim has seized control of the castle and is now trying to open the 7 wise men's seal. I am in the dungeon of the castle. Please help me. Link, I'm going out for a while. I'll be back by morning. Don't leave the house. We're gonna immediately disobey you. So, you got the lamp. Now you can light torches and see your way in the darkness. Excellent. Yes, this was going to be A Link Between Worlds. And honestly, up to the point that I was recording today, I fully intended for it to be A Link Between Worlds. Unfortunately, as stable as I thought I had my 3DS recording set up, it wasn't as stable when I actually started recording, and I don't know why, so I need to investigate that more, but I promised you a Zelda game. And to be honest, what are you doing up this late, kid? You can stay up when you're grown up. Now go home. I see you brought a map so you don't get lost. Press the X button to see your map. We'll do that. You're short on magic power. You can't use this item now. Watch your magic meter. Wrong button. There's the map. And there's the red X. Right there where we need to go. So, I promised you guys a Zelda game, and honestly, I was going to be really disappointed if I didn't get to play a Zelda game today, because I love Zelda. Like, all of my art is based on Zelda, and I've not been shy that it's my favorite game series. But there hasn't been a Zelda game on the channel, and I wanted to change that today. So I figured, why not go back? If I can't play Link Between Worlds, why not play the original, right? Hey, you're not allowed in the castle, son. Now go home and get some sleep. No. Alright. Now, this is a game that I never played as a kid. I had a Super Nintendo. Help me, I am in the dungeon of the castle. I know there is a hidden path from outside of the castle to the garden inside. Alright, well, it's probably right there. I did have a Super Nintendo. I grew up as a Super Nintendo kid, but this is not a game that I played. The very first Zelda game that I played, in fact, the very first video game that I ever played, was the original Zelda. Link, I didn't want you involved in this. I told you not to leave the house. Take my sword and shield and listen. You can focus power in the blade. Then release it using the secret technique handed down by our people. Link, you can do it. Save the princess. Zelda is your... And he's not moving. Kill him! Give him a haircut. Give him a haircut. Cut his hair. Nope. Can't cut his hair for rupees. Anyway, so yeah, the first Zelda that I ever played was the first one. And I played that when I was like 6. And I didn't really do much. I ran around in circles fighting Octoroks. Let's see here. What's in here? Rupees! Magic power! Excellent. Can I light this now? Yay! I ran around like killing Octoroks because Zora scared me, so I didn't go very far. So, but, like, that was my favorite, or my first video game. And then I got a Game Boy, and I played Link's Awakening. But I didn't have a Super Nintendo at my house. It was kind of at my grandparents'. It was mine in theory. But my parents didn't want me having a video game besides like a Game Boy. That was kind of a compromise. They gave me a Game Boy, but they didn't want me to have a home console because they didn't want it to interfere with my studies. So, grandparents being grandparents, my grandfather got a Super Nintendo for his birthday, and I could play it whenever I was over there. So I didn't have many Super Nintendo games. And this is one that I actually missed out on, going all the way back to the point. I have played it to a point since, usually in emulators. Spoiler, illegal. But in college, I played it on emulators, but I haven't played it in years. And a lot of people have strong feelings to this game in particular. Up until Ocarina of Time was released, it was widely considered like the best Legend of Zelda ever. It's not like that was a hard or a high bar to set, because you had Zelda 2, which nobody liked. Some people do now, but at the time it was not really popular at all. It didn't sell well at all. And then you had, of course, Link's Awakening, and Link's Awakening was generally liked. I struggled with it as a kid. You got the map. You can use it to see your current position and the rest of the dungeon. Awesome. I struggled with it as a kid because I couldn't beat the first dungeon. So I never got the Power Glove, so I couldn't leave Maid Village, which means to go anywhere in the game I had to pull off that there was a glitch that you could do to glitch through screens. Or if you... Ooh, I am totally... Oh, I need that heart. I am totally not paying attention to these guys. Bye-bye. There was a trick that you could pull in the game to skip screens, and often it would, like, lock you up, because you would clip into actual objects, and then you couldn't move. But it was about the only way I could actually get out and explore the game, so that's what I did. And then when I realized what I was doing wrong, because this is, you gotta remember, this is like way before the time of game facts or anything like that, but when I'm dying again. Really, dude? Die. Good lord. This is bad. There we go. This is good. But yeah, like, when I figured out what I was doing wrong, I felt really stupid. Anyways, so this game was considered widely the best, and then Ocarina of Time came out, and that one is really good. A lot of people do consider that one to be the best. That one's kind of a toss-up between Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time, depending on which camp you're in. But a lot of people still really prefer this one to Ocarina of Time. Like, it depends on how old you are. It's kind of the Final Fantasy thing where, you know, I played Final Fantasy VI before 7 came out, so I think 6 is better than 7, but 7 ushered in the era of the PlayStation, and it was the first, there's nothing over here, it was the first three-dimensional Final Fantasy, and a lot of people had the PlayStation that didn't get the Super Nintendo, so it was their introduction to Final Fantasy, so they think it's the best. You know what? It doesn't really matter. You like the games that you like. Like, I'm not gonna tell you you're doing it right, you're doing it wrong. Like, I leave those battles on the playground. But this game actually set pretty much what could be considered. You got the boomerang. Give it a try. To select an item, press the start button. Alright, I actually do want to put that on, because now I can do this. Whee! This game is actually kind of what set the canon of the Zelda series. Like, you had Zelda 1, and that was given you, that introduced to you what the Triforce was, it introduced to you Ganon, and it introduced Princess Zelda, and of course it introduced Link. But you were never really given any context for why you were going around adventuring in Hyrule. Yeah, if you hit things with the boomerang, it stuns them. So, you know... Oh, speaking of which, definitely pick up the boomerang before you come down and fight this guy. It makes it much easier. Because this guy is your first ball and chain knight, and they have massive reach and a lot of health. There we go. Yay! Boss key! You got the big key. This is the master key of the dungeon. It can open many locks that small keys cannot. You sitting there for a minute, I'm still talking. You were never really given any information on why you're going around and adventuring. And then Zelda 2 was kinda... Ooh, treasure chest. More important than princess. Alright, princess. Thank you, Link. I had a feeling you were getting close. Listen carefully. The wizard is magically controlling all the soldiers in the castle. I fear the worst for my father. The wizard is an inhuman fiend with strong magical powers. Do you understand? Not at all. Yeah, sure. Alright, let's get out of here before the wizard notices. I know a secret path, but first, we have to go up to the first floor. Let's go! Zelda 2 is kind of a spin-off, or a sequel of what was known as Zelda. It didn't really establish much. It did introduce the concept of Dark Link, and it kind of focused on a lot of places that would become well-known figures later. But it was also top-down, so not too many people really liked it. Or it was not top-down, it was side-scrolling. What am I talking about? So a lot of people were turned off by that. Also, it was incredibly difficult. It is probably still one of the more difficult Zelda games that you can play. But anyways, this game is actually what set up the timeline. You found out that the golden power, the Triforce, was given to you, or given to the world by the gods. You find out about the War of the Ancients. You have the setting for Ocarina of Time. You have the idea that the Triforce... actually, no, I might be getting ahead of myself on that. But anyway, like, more of the Zelda game, or Zelda series, has built off of this game than any other. Ocarina of Time definitely is more popular, but a lot of the concepts that came out and was explored in Ocarina of Time were made to explain the backstory of A Link to the Past. In fact, a lot of the cities in Zelda II are named after the sages in Ocarina of Time, which is kind of a cool touch. So anyway, this is kind of the core Zelda game, and while I've played it, embarrassingly enough, I've never actually beaten it. I've never made it all the way to the end. Usually I go to the Dark World. There is a secret passage in the throne room that leads to Sanctuary. I'm sure the old man there will help us. So I know a lot of this, but some of this is going to be blind. Before we go to Sanctuary, is there anywhere else we can go? Let's explore a little bit more. Oh, you're not going to let me, huh? Alright, I should have done that before I got you. Nag, nag, nag. Alright, let's go. One thing that I really like about... I'm just going to run between you guys. A Link to the Past versus pretty much every other Zelda game, especially of its generation. These are some of the most detailed detailed dungeons you will ever see. That ornament on a shelf should open. Do you have a light? It's pitch black dark inside, and you can't see without one. If you're ready, let's go. Help me push it from the left. Alright. From the left, from the left, from the left. So since this is the core Zelda game, and since I have easy access to it, I figured why not just go ahead and do it now. It'll let me add another Zelda beaten to my total. I'll get to see the ending, and I'll get to share it with you guys. One thing I don't like is seizure warning. I don't like the light at all. Start. Continue game. Let's start. I need to pull this out. Yes, you can save your game at any point, and there is a thing with the lantern where you can set enemies on fire. These torches will go out after a period of time, so do what you can while they're lit, but that saves you from having to flash things around. It gives you more even light. Come on, there we go. Of course I light it after the lights go out. I'm gonna be really sad though if I can't get my 3DS streaming. Like, this layout here was originally made for my 3DS, and I've modified it to work with the Super Nintendo. Snake ropes, I hate you. And I think it looks really good, but I was really excited when I was getting into streaming about streaming my 3DS. Now, there are ways to do that. Obviously there is a hard way to do it, or a hard-coded way to do it. Hardware, I will get the right word on the third try, but you have to send it off to Japan. There's a months-long waiting list to do it. It requires a special hardware board, and honestly, I've seen so little of that being advertised lately, I'm not even sure if the services are doing it. So, a lot of people got together with the NDS, or the new 3DS, and found out with the extra processing power, yay, key, you can stream 3DS wirelessly. And I was doing so good doing that during my test playthroughs. I got everything going, and then today I sat down to record. After passing through these sewers, we will be very close to Sanctuary. Let's be careful. I got sat down to record and went through that intro. As soon as I went and talked to my very first NPC, frame rates dropped badly, and I'm not even sure why. I think I'm going to have to experiment more with 3DS streaming and maybe upgrade my router, because it could be my router. Play around with it more and see if I can get it working, because I think it's not a question of can the 3DS do it, because the game that I'm trying to stream is not hardware intensive. I think it's a question of, for some reason, the 3DS is not streaming consistently. And that's really sad, because I thought I had good tests for it going. I went to really high frame rate areas, areas with lava, areas with flowing water, enemies that, you know, have a lot of particle effects, and I was confident in it as of night before last, and last night when I tested. As soon as I sat down to record, bam, gone. It was just unplayable. It is my goal, if I stay on this channel, to do as many Zelda games as I can possibly get. Like, there are 3 series that I'm going to definitely try my hardest to do. Sly Cooper, which should not be difficult. I have all the games, and I have the means to stream that. Shantae, same thing. Mario RPG, I would definitely like to make that a core series, but RPGs are RPGs. And Zelda is hopefully going to be a core series. So those are kind of been the 4 pillars of the games that I want to stream or record. There will be surprises in there, but it is nice that at last I finally have all the core series that I want to do at least started. And I've been looking forward to doing a Zelda 1 for a while now. I really had my hopes on it being a Link Between Worlds though. But all complaints aside, that was going to be a test stream for the game that I'm really looking forward to recording, and it did its purpose. It was a good test. I've found areas that I need to shore up. Sanctuary's just beyond that door. Pull the switch over there. Okay, there are 2 switches here. If you pull the right one, the door will open. If you pull the wrong one, well, you'll see. Let's go left. The wrong one! Yes, you get snake ropes from above. And I believe we'll try the right one, but I want to say that the switches are randomly assigned every time you pull one. We'll find out, because I'll do the right one. Well, this one hasn't reset, so maybe it's not. I know that it is random. Maybe it's just when you leave and enter. Yes. Maybe it tells you that when you hit the right one. No. Or the correct one. Princess Zelda, you are safe. Is this your doing, Link? Yes, it was Link who helped me escape from the dungeon. When I was captive, the wizard said, once I have finished with you, the final one, the seal of the wise men will open. Link, you must not let the land of Hyrule fall into the wizard's clutches. If he releases the seal of the 7 wise men, evil power will overwhelm this land. Before that happens, before it's too late, destroy the wizard before he destroys all of Hyrule. I almost read that as, destroy all of Hyrule, because of the scrolling. You can do it. You can. I sense that a mighty evil force guides the wizard's actions and augments his magical power. The only weapon potent enough to defeat the wizard is the legendary Master Sword. It is said that the village elder is a descendant of one of the 7 wise men. Maybe he can tell you more. I will mark his house on your map, but watch your every move. I am certain that the castle soldiers will be looking for you now. I will hide Princess Zelda here. Do not worry. Seek the elder. Do you understand? Yes. Not at all. Sure. And in this chest. Old man, get out of my way. Old man, get out of my way. Heart container. You found a heart container. Your heart level increased. Yay! And with that, we're gonna call it an episode, guys. We've rescued Princess Zelda, and we made it through the first semi-dungeon of the game. Next time, we'll head to Kakariko Village and seek out the Elder there and find out more about the Master Sword, and how we're gonna stop Aghanim. Thanks for coming out and joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and you guys have a great day. Look forward to more of this, because I am. Later.